Yes, you read that title correctly. I'm building a 1-to-1 scale Venator class destroyer entirely in survival. But I am gonna put a small asterisk here. This is in a server, which means that a lot of farms are already pre-existing, and I get to steal from them. Now, before I can even gather materials, I of course have to get storage. So after stealing a lot of shulker shells from this farm, stealing some wood from this farm, I got to work crafting all the shulkers I'd need, and eventually it turned out with 6 million blocks worth of storage. Good start. Okay, it wasn't too bad, but we're still in the preparation phase, unfortunately. In case you haven't noticed, this ship is big. Big enough that the bottom has to go underwater as to not pass build height, and even then it still goes underground. So I have to dig these trenches to accommodate this build. While this footage plays, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jade. I like making big projects, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, feel free to subscribe. I'm hoping to continue uploading videos like this, so stay tuned. Alright, easy peasy. Get to start on materials now. What do we got first? Okay, maybe I'll do some quick replacing of andesite to stone. That should make things easier. And while I'm at it, I'll also change the polished andesite to stone bricks. Yeah, that'll work. With the stone farm already in place, I figured I could get right to work. After not too long, I discovered that my pickaxe would only survive about 20 minutes, but it yielded around 4 shulkers on average. So, with some math, that's 12 shulkers an hour. Alright, not too bad. Let's see how long that'll take. At this point, it was really starting to set in just how big this project would be. It's still early. I have plenty of time to give up and reevaluate a different project. And you know what? That just might be for the best. Oh look, I have 3 stone farms now. And here's Goomy and Ethan, happy to help. Okay, that's all the stone gathered. I think we may just be out of the weeds now. Let's just see what's next. You know, as excited as I was for this project, mining stone for over 160 hours was really taking a toll. I was just sitting at my desk, staring into nothing, just making sure my pickaxe didn't break. So finally, I found something to do. I'm still mining away, but I pulled out the Legos. I rebuilt that. I rebuilt that. I rebuilt those guys. I rebuilt that. And I rebuilt that. And I rebuilt those guys. I'm doing great. Well, that made the mining far more bearable. Thank goodness that's over, though. You know what? I got this. Put the Legos away, let's lock in. Once it's done, we get to move on to the better stuff. I haven't even mentioned the process of rigging up auto crafters to an already set up auto smelter, which then had to be rigged up to redstone so that it could actually... And just like that, that's 3.5 million blocks already gathered. 22 days later. I've got a goal in mind though. It's March 20th, and I want to finish this before April. Thanks to Neo, he gave me a massive head start on mangrove planks, allowing me to easily get all the planks I needed. Stone brick slabs were fast, only a few hours in the stone farm, and then came this group. While the diorite was relatively easy to mine, it was tedious and slow. Mangrove in bulk is tedious to mine, but after some help from Baya, Ethan, and Absurd, we got it done. The glass was easy thanks to buying out Mortem sand and ink donations from Stick and Baya, but it still took hours to smelt. Deep slate is slow to mine since it can't be insta-mined with a beacon, but with some help from Ethan and additional donations from Wazoo, it got done. The blackstone was just like the diorite, only far more tedious and far slower. After some help from Ethan though, we got it done. At this point, luckily, the amount of shulkers needed for items was rapidly declining, now putting every item needing less than 10 shulkers. Regardless, there were still some items that were a pain to gather even at this scale, which I'll list now. Almost 6 shulkers of light gray wool were needed, and while the dye wasn't hard to get, the wool proved slow to get, whether using a sheep farm or a spider grinder. But thanks to some thinking ahead, Ethan and I had already spent some time farming both, making gathering the remainder only take a few extra hours. With the Guardian farm already built, Ethan was able to quickly get the 5 shulkers of sea lanterns needed, which, while it only took minutes, could have taken days. The collection of iron items, including trapdoors, anvils, blast furnaces, etc., quickly drained me of my own iron, and I had to rely on some donations from Stick and Dead. Dispensers jumped out of nowhere, which required me to craft over 500 bows, which sucks without being able to stack them. And it also required me getting triple the amount in string and sticks. Thankfully, after borrowing from Neva's bartering farm and stealing all the bamboo from this farm, it went pretty fast. Beds also jumped out suddenly, and though there was only 56, I still had to fill over 2 shulkers with them, and they didn't stack. Most of my time spent was on 1.21.1, but luckily we updated to 1.21.4 not long before I had to get cobwebs. 48 isn't much, but without the potion of weaving, I would have had to spend hours trying to find a mine shaft. Now we're nearing the bottom of the list, and as I scrolled down, I finally saw 24 lodestones, which meant 24 netherite ingots. Yeah, I'm okay. I'll just replace that with chiseled stone bricks instead. And finally, we've reached the bottom of the project. And here is where the hardest part came in. I should have expected something this tough, but it still hit me like a truck.
Later.
Mission accomplished. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Tom on Mars for the original build. He has a Patreon with dozens of other incredible Minecraft builds, and his builds have honestly gotten me back into Star Wars again. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. I have a few other massive projects in the works, which I hope to make videos on in the future, so if you don't want to miss out, feel free to subscribe.